So for this week, we are doing pretty much very similar to what we've been doing. You'll notice that it's the same format as last week's. All last week you had all 5 days to finish your narrative. This week you only have 2 days because we only have school Monday and Tuesday. If you want to take till Wednesday, that's fine, but you don't have technically have school Wednesday. So the whole idea and the reason that we're expediting the process here, guys, is A, we've been working on narrative writing a whole lot. And B, you technically should be able to sit like as a fourth grader in one sitting and sit down and write, be able to plan, write, draft, revise, edit, like all in one day. So this is my challenge for you. You're getting 2 days to get it done. Eventually, like I said, on the whole end goal is for you to be able to do this in about a 45-minute to an hour setting. I know we're not there yet, but we definitely should be getting it down to about 2-3 days of being able to generate ideas, make a plan, draft, revise, edit, get it all done. So you have 2 days to do it. So I would definitely spread it out between first day, doing your plan, generating your ideas, getting your plan ready, and going ahead and starting your draft. And then the next day, adding to your draft, revising, editing, and going ahead and publishing and sending it in. The big difference between last week's and this week's story is I don't expect it to be real long. I mean, as long as it covers the things that you see on the screen here for the prompt, I'll be happy. So don't feel like you have to write as long of a story as what you've been doing in the past. I got some beautiful narrative writing stories last week that made me very proud of you. So this is more of just a short assignment. I still want you to go through all the writing process. You just don't have to write as elaborate and big of a story as you would in the past. Still need to meet all of these different parts, just not, it doesn't need to be some crazy story. This is really different than what we've been doing, though. This is not a nonfiction article. Your source is right here, so make sure you click on it. It says Mission to the Moon drama source. So if you click on it, it'll take you to that Mission to the Moon. It's a drama, so it's a little different. You'll notice. I know that in third grade, you guys actually get things like drama. Dramas are, and you've done dramas. These might be a little bit longer. I will say too, I'm glad that some of you or all of you are watching this video. You'll see where it says number one, what is the main purpose of the words? Ignore that part. I just couldn't cut it off. So that's just a question from part of the assessment that I gave whenever I had it students in class. Excuse me. So just ignore that part at the bottom. So where it says end of play is obviously where the play is ending. Anyway, so this is a play. It lists the characters at the beginning. You'll notice the parts in italics are the parts where it's basically setting the drama up. So I'm actually going to go ahead and read this out loud. I think that might help a lot of you. So the characters in this story are Alyssa. She's the leader of the kids building a rocket. Natalie and Jackson, they're neighborhood kids who help Alyssa, and Kaylee, a girl who is a neighbor of Alyssa. You want to make sure you pay attention to Kaylee because that's who the writing prompt is about. Lights gradually get brighter on a stage that is decorated as a field surrounded by trees. Up center is a rough construction that looks like a rocket ship. Alyssa, Natalie, and Jackson rush on and off stage with junk they have collected. They work to convert the junk into parts for their makeshift rocket. There is a bush stage right, and Kaylee enters stage right and hides behind the bush. Kaylee watches them work on the rocket. She shakes her head and turns to the audience. A spotlight appears on Kaylee, and the rest of the stage dims slightly. Alyssa, Natalie, and Jackson continue working on the rocket while Kaylee speaks. So all of this right here is just a setup of, Kaylee over on the side. It's almost like you're looking in on a play happening, and you're imagining all of this in your head. So Kaylee, now the spotlight is on Kaylee. She's almost like talking to the audience, basically. She isn't speaking to any of the other characters right now. And she says, every time I come outside to play, Alyssa and her crew are up to something. If they aren't building some strange invention, they're playing some game I've never seen before. This time they are building an invention. Kaylee strains to peek around the bush farther to get a better look. Again, that's in parentheses. That means that It's the actions in the play. Today it looks like they are building a rocket. There's no way that bunch of kids can build something that actually flies. That's impossible. Not even Alyssa knows how to do that. I know she does well in school. She was at the top of our science class, but really, I don't think she can make something fly. It'll never work. Kaylee yells her last line and the lights come up on stage again. So she yelled out, "It'll never work!" And then the other characters in the middle of the stage heard her, obviously. Alyssa, Natalie, and Jackson stop and look at Kaylee. Noticing her for the first time, Kaylee runs off, stage right. Natalie, was that Kaylee? Jackson and Natalie keep working on the rocket while Alyssa steps back to take a look. I know some of this might seem, you just got to kind of imagine it. It's all happening as a play. We have our characters speaking, and you have to imagine the things that they're doing in your head. Alyssa, I keep inviting her to help us, but she thinks it's boring. How can building a rocket ship be boring? There's nothing more exciting than flying to the moon. It's my dream to be the first woman to walk up there. I've wanted to go ever since I read a book about Neil Armstrong. The first man to walk on that lunar landscape, he's the one who said, "That's one small step for man and one giant leap for mankind." Jackson, I thought it was some guy named Buzz. Alyssa, Buzz Aldrin was the second man to walk on the moon. 12 men have walked up there, but not a single woman. That's all going to change. We are flying our rocket to the moon, and I will make my mark in the universe. What should my first words be when I land? I need something epic to say. How about one big step for a woman, one gigantic leap for humankind? Natalie, I like it. Does that mean I will get to be the second woman on the moon? I had better think up a cool nickname like Buzz. How about Twinkle? We'll be in the stars and stars twinkle, so that's a good one, right? Or how about Supernova? That sounds way better than Twinkle. Call me Supernova from now on. Sounds good, Supernova. So Jackson flips the switch and the rocket lights up. Wow, it's working! Alyssa and Natalie cheer. Let's push that rocket to the top of the hill. Prepare for launch. Start the countdown. The rocket is on top of a platform with wheels, and the kids push the rocket off stage left. Off stage. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And they're all off stage, and these noises are just coming from the background. Blast off! And Alyssa says, "Here we go." Kaylee rushes back on stage right. Excuse me. And speaks to the audience. "Where did they go? I looked up and I thought I saw something in the sky. It could be an airplane, or maybe it was their rocket. Was that possible? Did they actually get their rocket to work? Come back! I want to go too!" And the lights fade to black, and it's the end of the play. Okay, so now your job is to think about what it would be like if you and some friends tried to build a new invention. So it doesn't have to be a rocket. You can think of whatever invention you want, and it's you and a group of friends. Kaylee is a neighbor who wants to help you build the new invention. I want you to write a narrative for me, it says for your teacher, for me, that shows how Kaylee becomes involved in building the new invention. Be sure to include narrative elements such as description, sensory details, and dialogue. Use details from the passage in your narrative. So, what I want you to do, guys, is write me a story, basically, of you and a group of friends inventing something. And you need to have Kaylee as a character in there that becomes involved in building the invention. What you need to keep in mind are the character traits that Kaylee has in the story or in the drama. So as long as you keep those character traits in there, then you'll be able to, that's how you are going to pull in information from the source. So keep that in mind. You're also welcome to use things like some of the vocabulary that they use. You're welcome to use some of the character names, but it needs to be your own story and you need to be in your story. It's made up, obviously, but you want to keep it based around some kind of your friend group inventing something. So have fun with it. You don't have to make it crazy long. Just meet those expectations of having a little bit of dialogue, even just a few words here and there. You are not writing a drama. That's just what the source is. I want you to just write a story, just a normal story. The drama is just the type of source it is. Don't write me a play. That's not what I want. I want just a story for me that shows how Kaylee becomes involved in building the new invention with you and a group of friends. All right, so have fun with it, and be sure to follow that writing process closely. And let me know if you have any questions. Remember that you have the Flipgrid link right here where you can tell me what you're working on, each part of the writing process, and questions you might have. And you're welcome to tune in at 11:30 on Monday. If you definitely are confused or need any help or assistance, I will be happy to help. All right, thanks for listening all the way to the end, and have an awesome time writing this fun story.